I don't know what it is. I think something's changed. I look very orange. Looks like I've been tangoed.
You do a bit. I think it's just reflecting off your jumper. Alternatively, conversely, I look quite pale.
You could be a vampire. We were having that discussion over dinner, weren't we?
Mean. How many people watching know this? I'm 56 years old and I saw this when I was
Never
14. I am. Let me in. I've never forgotten it, and it's even at my age right now, sometimes I get a bit freaked out by windows. Right then, here we are. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to the world. We are here. Sorry, Gary was very remiss of only just putting up the link to say we were going live, but we're here.
We're here. We were having dinner. Rachel cooked us a lovely roast dinner, didn't she, Linz?
She did. We were having dinner, a lovely roast dinner, and we were in the middle of a big, decent chat. You know how you do. Yeah. Not all about hooves. We do talk about other things, you know. It's not all hooves.
Do. Horror films.
Horror films.
Was on the discussion list.
Yes.
Alien.
So Alien.
Jaws in space.
Jaws in space. So some very nice farrier likening me to Pennywise because of his big slap.
But I'm not sure that he was a farrier, because when he actually put it up, he only had 37 followers, and all the pictures that he had on there were with him with fish.
Well, was he the person who was, you know, you don't know?
Or was it
somebody else?
Somebody else trying to be somebody else.
Honestly, the internet world is so fun, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Top of the shop. Dawn. Hello, everyone. See you later. Oh, where have you gone?
Yeah, but it was only a little bit later.
Hello. Didn't see the link at Phoenix Patients because he never put it up here.
Yeah, I did.
Just decided to.
But it was only 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, just decided to check YouTube. Glad to find you. I have been so sick over a week now. Enough energy to at least listen. Oh,
get well soon,
I've not been well. Get well. I've not been well. Today has been my best day. I've had a week of horrible dizzy spells and migraines. Today's been my best day. Dawn says, sorry, Pia, to hear that. Sending healing thoughts. Jill Truscott is here. Hello. Pia said, thank you. Did go to the horses today. Need to get bars done. What have we done to you all? Even when you're sick. We've made you obsessed. Watch the heels because I missed our weekly checkups. That's all I could do today. Oh, bless you. That wasn't me who wrote that. That was Gary who wrote that. Not me. La 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 la. Angie Medler says hello. Chloe Elizabeth is here. Oh, Chloe Elizabeth. It's funny. It comes. I never call you Chloe Elizabeth. Chloe's here. Ooh, my phone actually reminded me you guys are on. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Therese is here. Hi, Camilla's
Therese.
here. That's 2 people from Sweden. Good evening, everyone. Dawn says, sporting a new look, Gary.
It's called the lazy look. Mrs. H, don't come anywhere near me when I'm like this.
It's enough of that. Nicole Barr says, thanks, Gary, for the best lesson ever today.
You're very welcome.
Oh.
Glad to be of service. You're doing a grand job. You just needed a little bit. You just wandered off slightly, but I have to say, so did everybody else before you. So don't worry.
Everybody wanders off.
I'm confident that Zoe will be on the road to recovery in a short while. So well done.
Everybody wanders off. It's not anything to feel guilty about. It's simply what just happens, and it can happen to anybody, even pros. Janine says, hi, Lydia's here. Oh, it's good to have you, Lydia. Hello, everyone. Finally caught a live. Been missing so many. Yes, you have. We've been like, where's Lydia? Anne's here. It's been too long. It has. It's good to have you
Good
here,
to see
Anne.
you.
Lovely to see you. Becky's here. Hi, everyone. Made it. Had an 11-hour shift at the yard, shoveling poo and putting out 11 hours? It took you 11 hours to shovel poo? Or was that at the end of an 11-hour shift? And are you in your pajamas? That's what I want to know. I
fancy coming on live?
Yeah, you fancy popping on the live with us? We could talk about shoveling poo. Oh, what are we going to talk about tonight, Gary? We could talk about how the world is carrying on regardless. It's very funny, isn't it? Here we are with a thorn in literally the equine world's side, HM and GTL. We are a thorn in their side. And yet, prior to now, I don't know if everybody's noticed, but I don't know whether it's because we've just blocked them all, but if everybody's noticed, I don't think it is that there's been a bit of a lull in the name calling and bullying that's been going on towards HM. You know, goes on all the time. But there's been a lull of late. And of late, we've been putting up some very good Pinky. Sorry, it's my dog licking her leg. Very good. Don't look at me like that. Very good X-ray. Very good X-ray transitions. Because as you know, we take X-rays every month. And it's a really good way for you to see the foot changing. And of course, it's a very good way to make people start focusing on the hoof capsule as opposed to the bone. Anyway, we've been putting quite a few of those out, and there's been a big lull. Until there isn't, and when there isn't, or not so much when there isn't about HM, but then a post will come out, which we saw today, and they're literally carrying on regardless. It's the same old zombie tune that's been regurgitated constantly, and then what they do now is what we've noticed is they turn the comments off. Pinky. Anybody else do that when they can't stand their dogs licking their legs? It's awful, really, isn't it? It's only because they're sore, but I shouldn't stop her, really. So, yeah, regurgitating the same old crap. And, you know, let's not beat about the bush. It is funny. Gary and I had a long conversation about this morning when we were feeding the horses, about sheltering from the rain. And we were talking about how every time they back us into a corner and say, well, where are your X-rays? We don't just come out with X-rays, we come out with monthly X-rays. And then they just simply go, wide mouth frog. Don't know what to do about that now. Because they've actually put the money where the mouth is, and they're showing it. Not an organization in the world, not a school in the world, not a university in the world, not a vet practice in the world, not a laminitis unit in the world is doing what we are doing. And you have to question why.
And I have to say, if it wasn't for all the naysayers, and I have to say, teaming up with Goresworth Track Livery, all wanting the same thing, if it wasn't for those naysayers, I'm actually thinking that would we actually be in this position right now? Maybe not.
You're right.
Because I actually think perhaps we should take it one step further and go out there and say, thank you very much for pushing us further forward.
I can thank them.
Keep pushing, because
thank them with
coming back.
I can thank them with my third digit on both hands. I could do that.
Lindsay, behave. Behave. When you come over for dinner, you will not have a glass of wine again. Lindsay, behave.
But it's true. You're right. If it hadn't have been for the naysayers, if it isn't for them pushing us to be better.
So basically what they ended up coming out and saying to us back in the day was, prove it, prove it, prove it. So we proved it by showing you sequential videos and images. But that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough to show that the long toe, when the foot is balanced, is only distortion growing out.
And more than they were showing, more than anybody shows. We were showing videos.
Yes, exactly.
Constant photo. No, it wasn't enough.
So then that wasn't enough. So then we upped our game. And then started and teamed up with Goresworth Track Livery and other livery yards coming soon. Long Marsh and Newman, thank you very much. Welcome to the team. So we end up doing x-rays. So we are proving our theory, because our theory is actually not a theory because we've proved it. It's not a theory anymore.
No, we're proving that the other theories are.
So everybody else has got to go back to the drawing board. Just because it's written on a bloody piece of paper doesn't make it true. We've proven what's written on those papers to be incorrect. So go and rewrite them.
Yeah.
Because we ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where was I? Oh God, suddenly loads of comments have come in. Thorax Gargoyle says River has a piece of heel broken off when I checked on the heel height today. Okay, so sometimes that happens when there's been an infection and there's underneath the bar or the heel and there's been a bit of a crack and it cracks off. Don't worry about it. They'll callus a bit of sole to walk on. It's all good. It's all not a problem. Jeanette Desires here. Hi all. Only just saw there was a live. Becky says, of course. Becky says, was stranded as my car was at the garage. Had lots of poo to move, so I got stuck in. Would love to join you, but I'm desperately in need of a shower and a hair wash.
I'm in desperate need of a shave too.
Maylin says hello.
Hi, Maylin.
And then Becky says, when they're not talking about you, then there's a problem, or they've just run out of vocabulary. It's true. If they stop talking about you, you know,
then you got to worry.
You get forgotten about.
Yeah.
Gail says, hi all, just done stacking a load of hay. I'm too old for this stuff. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. Meg says, oops, late to the party. Hope you guys are well. We are. Thank you very much.
Not bad. Thank you very much.
Becky says, none of them comment on the posts on GTL or HM when you show the great progress, which is most of the time. They don't. And if they do dare, they will try and obviously pick holes in it, which are not holes. You're like, what are you saying? We saw a diagram today, didn't we, Gary?
Oh my God. It made me want to throw up. I thought, hold on a second.
Oh.
How many times have we said, I can draw a picture of pigs flying, but it doesn't make it so, does it not? No. And this foot that had this hoof had a shoe on it, and the heels and the toes were so low, and it was talking about balance when P3 that was within it was rotated. Oh my God, what the? Can you tell that I've had a glass of wine too? I nearly swore.
Oh God.
What the hell is going on with the world?
This is what's in their minds, in their heads.
Ridiculous.
It's not reality. It's not what's going on in the real world. It's just what's going on in their heads.
Yeah.
Very
It was
funny.
so flat. It was so flat. It was.
And then Peter's like, oh.
It didn't even look like a hoof proper shape or anything. It was just, yeah, it was all.
Oh, Bethan's here. Oh, darling, I hope everything's going wrong. Big kiss and hug to Cyrus. Odessa has done an amazing boot-free walk this evening.
Yay!
She's out all night without a boot tonight. I'm ecstatic. So am I. Finally, let's do this. Let's exfoliate that foot. Do you remember, Bethan? Do you remember when, right at the very beginning, when we were starting the trims on her, and she had that limp because she couldn't load her fetlock, and gradually now, months later, through physio, through walking, through lots and lots of walking, now she's able to load. And we talk about this quite a bit as well. There's another myth that goes around the internet that says that you should, when you're lowering heels, you should do it slowly. That's nonsense, because the problem with doing it that is you never actually then keep on top of it. Ever. You never do. You never get where you need to be, because that would almost sort of imply that the hoof doesn't grow in between, but it does. And you never keep on top of it. And so you're risking continual divergence, continual tearing, continual pain. You're risking P3 being in the wrong position and causing osteonecrosis and all of those things, as opposed to a feeling of tightness that the horse has in the back of its legs. And it's not just one soft tissue, it's a lot of soft tissues. And it's not every horse, but it's horses that have been very high heeled for a long time. And so physio is what's needed, not physio from a human being coming and manipulating the foot. No. Physio from walking. Movement. And just constant movement every day, not stuck in a box. That won't fix your horse. Do not stick your horse in a box. It's not gonna help. And now here she is. The feet are still odd, and so she's got that odd little gait because you've got one foot that's not like the other, but gradually, bit by bit. She's not a Pluto 8-month rehab. Hector's taking a little bit longer than Pluto, and Odessa's taking longer than, it's sort of, I suppose if you had to put them in order, you'd go Pluto. If I put Pluto, Hector, Wex, and Odessa, they'd be in that kind of order. It's not every horse grows out a hoof capsule in 9 months. It doesn't always work like that, because they'll grow out, the horn will grow, but of course you've got different growth rates going on, and then you've got infection and issues that are going on with that. So whoop, Odessa, keep going, girl. It keeps Bethan going. Lydia says, can you go over the reason for rehabbing hooves that have toes going upwards versus forward? The reasons for rehabbing hooves, the reasons. So when they're going up hooves, I'll put that back. Going up hooves can happen for 2 reasons. Well, 3 really. 1, because the horse is just overgrown. Sometimes they just completely overgrow, and you can get in there and you can take off all the excess, and what's left is a lovely little foot underneath. 1. 2, which is what we most usually see, is a horse's foot which is has lost a lot of P3, has got quite a bit of osteonecrosis, and that toe wall just doesn't know what to do with itself when it passes the tiny little bit that's left of the dorsal face of P3, and it kind of goes, well, I've got quite a bit of way, I've still got quite a way to get to the ground. Up I go. Those, and we've been accused, of course, of being the long toe cult. Well, shock, horror, there are times when we also have to take toe away, but we don't take it away like the rest of the world does. We don't lop it off and expose laminae and do all of that. What we're doing is only removing the toe that is no longer clearly going to be in play for a long time, because it's going up, if ever. So at that point, then we can adjust. And then you find what you're doing is you're adjusting the heels every 5 minutes, it feels like. And then every 10 minutes, you're adjusting the toe, as it were. And then there are horses a bit like Odessa, Odessa does have osteonecrosis, especially in that right fore. She will be able to get toe wall down because the second category, they don't tend to ever get toe wall properly down to the ground. Odessa will eventually, but because it's been so distorted, her foot's sort of going outwards and a little bit upwards, and it keeps getting less and less and less, and you have to maintain that until you get to the end, and then eventually she'll have a toe wall on the ground. So the reasons we leave it, but I'm not sure that was your question, the reasons we leave it are because we are getting out of the way of the foot healing mainly, and a lot of the time it's because we're increasing vertical depth and etc. etc. So there's lots of good reasons to leave the toe, and horses don't give a Donald. They don't trip. They can run.
There is another
canter, trot.
There is another reason why toes can curl up.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
And that is if the heels aren't maintained. So what?
So I was assuming the heels were maintained.
Yes. So what can happen is, and this is hard enough when you're a pro. So it's even harder when you haven't got any choice and you're doing it yourself. Yeah. So there's a bit of a caveat there, but you know, sometimes we are dealt with what we're dealt with, haven't we? And we've just got to make the best of it, because if you haven't got the right help, then doing it yourself and being much, much closer and having a little setback is potentially, well, it's going to be better, isn't it? It's making the best out of a bad situation, and life is full of that, isn't it? So if you've got a P3 that is in the capsule and you've got an owner that's doing the trimming, and all of a sudden the heels go up, and then you end up having a consultation, or some smart ass comes along and say, those heels are too high, and then we bring them down, and then they maintain for a little while, but then they go back up again, and then they have to come back down, and there's a change. What can happen with this dorsal wall? This, because we want the toe to be on the ground, can be doing this all the time. So if we're not maintaining that all-important balance, internal balance of P3, what can inadvertently happen, because we're not on it like a car bonnet, what can happen is, as the hoof wall is growing down, because the palmar edge and that plane is not being maintained as efficiently as we would like, it can actually cause the toe to curl up a bit, because of the back of the foot not being maintained on the correct plane.
Yeah, when we're changing planes, when we're balancing a horse's foot, and I mean, it is like being on a seesaw. The horse's foot is like a seesaw. You have, but I don't want you to start going down the road of kind of schoolboy physics and fulcrum points and things like that. But it is a bit like a seesaw. There is a line you do or you don't cross, depending on which way you want the balance to go. And you either are taking heel and toe, or you're taking heel, or you're taking toe, or you're taking a little bit more of one than the other. And that's really the essence of balance. It's not difficult to understand, but the difficulty is keeping on top of it once you've got it there. And then once you're keeping on top of it, it's then dealing with the freaking out of everybody around you who you're trying to grow out the capsule, you're keeping your pony comfortable. And it does look weird. And isn't it odd? And it's not neglect when we see these feet doing this, these toes, because we're monitoring them quite carefully. But it is weird when these animals do look completely sound and are bombing around, maybe a little bit rough on the stones sometimes for some of them, but they're bombing around and you're like, my God. And yet with the toe completely chopped off, laminae exposed, but the capsule looking neater and the angles looking more, I've done it again. And the angles looking more neater. Didn't do it that time. Then, the horse isn't a sound. You have to, if you truly want to go with what people say, which is you're in it for the horse, you've got to do the best for the horse. The world has not been doing the best for the horse for a very, very long time. In fact, it's been abuse. Horses, bless them, have been abused from the foot up. But most people haven't known that because they don't know.
Knowledge is power, and the evidence speaks for itself. You've just got to have the mind to look.
Absolutely. Look for education to find out. Chloe says, my Cairo is coming tomorrow and her pony has laminitis. I said I'll tell her something crazy tomorrow and see if I can help. Oh, I'd love to. So
which laminitis is it? I'm assuming that you know that it is hoof capsule divergence laminitis and not systemic laminitis and not metabolic laminitis, because they are all separate things and we shouldn't get drawn into the laminitis confusion zone.
I hate that bloody word. I hate
that
it.
bloody word. It's like a caveat that I'm going to have to shout out every time the word is mentioned.
It's just such a ridiculous word, because it's almost like we become so tunnel vision on the laminae and so hyper focused on the laminae, we forget there's a ton of other tissues in there suffering as well. Don't use that. I hate the bloody word. Jeanette says, go Odessa. Alex says, hello. Becky says, there's no better proof than a sound horse with the x-rays to back up the rubbish science.
Absolutely.
Our rubbish science. With x-rays to back up HM's rubbish science. I know you don't mean that. Jeanette says, can't believe people still tell Beth and her rehab process is dangerous, even after all their recovery, because they don't want to see blinkers. Because what does it mean? It means chaos in the world, loss of money, people's livelihoods, people's reputations, that they
perhaps didn't have it right,
saving face, all of those things.
Yeah,
it's difficult, isn't it? When you've been telling the world, you've either got to be big about it and go, no, you know something, they're right. We're seeing a little bit of that happening recently.
Oh, yes.
People saying, HM all right? Oh, well, we could have missed all these painful years of us calling us a cult and calling us laymen and calling us crazy and the people that shall not be named and various horrible associations with other dictators in the world and stuff like that. We could have saved all of that, as well as saved a load of horses along the way, if only you lot hadn't been so ridiculously stubborn and bullying like you're in a playground. It's quite ridiculous. Hold a bloody mirror up. Dawn says, that's wow, Beth, and that's awesome. Viv Avery says, good morning from New Zealand. Good morning, darling.
Lovely.
Marianne Caffrey says, evening, late to the party, out getting drowned again on yard, now very soaky. Oh, I got soaked earlier as well. Kay Ellison is here with her lovely hearts. Jeanette says, oh my God, I have to touch up Texans heels and bars every week to keep on top of the compaction and contraction. I know. Now you can see when that doesn't happen enough and when they keep on chopping those toes and making your life a lot worse, in fact, making their own lives a lot worse, as well, obviously harder, as well as the horse's life, definitely a lot worse. Nobody's cottoned on. Isn't it funny? And you know, a big reason for that is because no bugger ever took photos. It's all in here, isn't it? Except it isn't, is it? Camilla says, no improvement without movement. Oh, I like it.
I like that. That's catchy.
No improvement without movement. Oh, it sounds a bit like.
Okay, that's enough. Let's move on.
What's the cartoon that sounds like? Oh my god, I can't remember. Thorax Gargale says, even if the toe is not on the ground, what?
I think.
Can you give the full question, please?
Yeah, I think that's probably going on off of Lydia's question.
Sorry, I'm not your.
No, you cannot trim the toe if the toe is not on the ground when you're on the correct plane at the back of the foot. That's in short.
Because what's going to happen? Because the thing we're terrified of more than anything else is going back on the wrong plane. And every time you go on the wrong plane, P3 is in the wrong position.
If you've got a balanced foot, a healthy balanced foot, trimming to the hard sole plane and balancing the back to the front is going to work. If you haven't got a balanced foot and you're on the wrong plane, trimming the heels down to the right place and then balancing it to the toe will reduce the sole thickness and vertical toe height, which will cause P3 to rotate and thin the sole. If you haven't got from that center line, which is about a centimeter back from the apex of the frog, if you are trimming the back of the foot to maintain that heel height and over that line, you cannot see the toe, you can't trim it. Simple as that. Simple as that.
But when you look at it, especially if you've been used to trying to eyeball the toe, it looks weird.
Oh, it looks odd because we told you that you've got to manage balance. Yeah. And we've drummed that into you that you've got to have balance. But then there's balance on a recovering foot and then there's balance on a healthy foot.
Right.
And it's all to do with the internal balance. If you want to know any more, there are challenges, there are workshops, and there is a 2-year training program.
And a trimming club coming soon.
And oh, yes. Very exciting.
I think Gary is describing what's happening with my pony. Even though I address the heels every 2 weeks, I've realized I need to do it more regularly. Yeah, you do really. 2 weeks is just not enough when we're in rehab mode. Until those heels and toes stabilize. When you're in rehab mode, you got to be checking these horses' feet every week as a minimum, really.
If it's
your horse, then that shouldn't be too bad.
As a question, are you measuring the heel, or are you just trimming every 2 weeks?
Yeah,
because if you're not measuring the heels to make sure that you're back to the same measurement every single time, how do you know? So you could be going like this in between trims, or you could be going like this in between trims.
Yeah, we don't want that.
It could be different after each trim, unless you end up knowing what's going on at the back of the foot.
Bonnie's here. Hello. What are you having for lunch today, Bonnie?
Hi, Bonnie.
Meda's here. Hi.
Hi, Meda.
Spotted Lover is here. Hiya. Becky's Bragg is here. Evening. Sandra Randall's here from Czech. Hello. Georgie Williams is here. Hi, lovelies.
Hello, lovely.
Cat Brown, Charlie Brown is here. Hello. Becky said, had a run-in on FB about feeding straw to fat ponies. Oh. No, apparently the vet says it's okay. What else do they say is okay? Shall we list it? And there is research to say it's okay. Is it indeed? Is there? Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. They've done it for 35 years, so it's fine. It's like when donkeys, you're told to feed donkey straw. You know, no, this very straw is very high in lignin, and that's not good for the gut. It's too high in fiber. You go the other way, and it's a mono culture as well. It's a mono species, and you really need to be feeding a variety. What Garry was saying about the microbiotics every week. Yeah, I think we've covered that. Great for a t-shirt, Camilla. Improvement
with movement.
SL Stables says hello. Ali Jean says, where exactly do we want to put the calipers on the heels bulbs when measuring from bulb to heel? That's a good question.
So after the trim,
Pinky.
you measure from the pointy corner of the heel directly straight down to the hairline. Now, if you've got contraction and different sized or shaped heel bulbs, the measurements are likely to be different medially or laterally. But if you've got a fairly balanced foot, it should be the same both sides.
Hang on, I'm finding you a picture. Okay. Here's one I made earlier.
But to be quite honest, do you know what? If you're measuring your own horses, as long as it's something that you can measure consistently, it doesn't really matter. That's what we do. We find that's easier. But if you're doing it yourself, as long as you know what is constant, do that.
Pinky.
But Lindsay's going to show you in a minute. Lindsay's going to batter a pinky in a minute.
Right, so you see that tiny dot there? This is a cadaver foot. Sorry, it's got all this caked crap all over the back of it. And then up here, it is a little bit deceiving because this is actually dipping down. This is a spot which was on the furthest most back.
Yeah. It was the flattest bit at the back of the foot of the heel.
At the end of the flattest bit at the back of the foot of the heel that's going to hit the ground. This bit wasn't hitting the ground, right? And you measure from there straight down, not here, across here, straight down. And it's good practice to put on right on the hairline between the hair and the horn or periopple. And it's good practice to put a little dot there and a little dot there. I mean, this dot will disappear when you trim, but then you look up and you go, ooh, 43 mil. Do it in mil, not inches. And that's 4.3 centimeters. That be too long, as Asha would say. And if you then look all the way down here, you can see where the end of the frog is. You can see this periopple is overgrown. And in fact, look at the state of this. And look at these bars, everyone. Massive. Look at the rings. No, look how regular those rings are, Garry. Look at that.
It's hoof wall, don't you know?
Interesting, isn't it? God. And this is like a cliff edge, having a bar like that. That's not pleasant for a foot. This horse had not engaged his frog for a very long time and probably been stuck in a stable as well. Some of these horses have a bitter end. It is very sad. But there you go. That's how you measure. Good, isn't it? La 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 la. Lindsay Dinsdale's here. Evening. Bonnie says she's having a burger with bacon and blue cheese.
Yum. If I ate meat, that would be yummy.
Ali says directly under the heel on the hairline. I've just shown you. There you go. Got it. Good. Janine says, I'm just trimming in between Adele visits. Very good. Love Adele. We love Adele. Hello, Adele, if you're watching. And she measures, but I now realize I need to measure also. Correct. Because I am used to only trimming heels on the Rehab. I struggle to balance the toe on the others. Yes. If you have one of our pros, even if you damn well don't, go and buy yourself a cheap pair of calipers. There's like the ones you've just seen there. The cheapest aren't digital, but the digital ones aren't that expensive. And I would encourage you to get digital ones and get used to measuring the heels. Just get used to getting your eye in there as well. Now, we say this many, many times. We aren't aiming to trim to measurements, but sometimes measurements are all we have when we are rehabbing horses' feet. So that's what we're doing. Meg says, Chloe, Long Marsh Track Livery, did a video on Facebook about measuring heels, and she used a Sharpie dot on the heels to measure for each time. Can you just top up the dot each couple of days? Of course you can. Of course you can. So that you make sure that's where you're being consistent. Like Garry said, you've got to be consistent. Dawn says, I go over Woody's bars and heels every week, and there is less to take off as the months go by. Definitely feeling empowered, but I can't take all the credit as I have the wonderful Shannon's help. Oh, is she coming out to see you? Shannon is everywhere.
She is. Shannon is everywhere.
Shannon. And I remember Shannon. And the first time I met Shannon, which has got to be over 3 years ago now.
That was at our first Galsworth workshop.
Yeah, and Shannon sat closest to me in the room. She sat right beside me, and every time I looked down, there was this lovely beaming smile looking back at me. I'll never forget it. Lovely, lovely girl. And then we were going on and doing another workshop. I think it was actually 6 weeks later. It wasn't the following weekend. Not like we're not as mental as we are now. And she turned up for that one as well.
She did. We haven't been able to get rid of her since, have we?
No, bad penny.
Yeah, bad penny.
I don't mean it. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love Peanut more, but that's another story. Ali Jean says, heading out with a Sharpie marker. Good. Bonnie says, you always must me when I'm having a delicious but terribly unhealthy lunch. I don't eat like this. Yeah.
We've heard it all before, Bonnie.
I mean, you don't have to be honest. You could just say, I'm having salad.
A salad.
We wouldn't know, would we? I can't just see through the internet. You're too honest, Bonnie. Ulrika says, hi all, I'm late. Hello from Northern France. Yes, measuring, people do get hung up on measurements, and I can understand why, because it's like a safety net, it feels like. But really, it's just another tool in your toolbox.
It's a tool, not a rule.
It's a tool, not a rule. It's another tool in your hoof box. Because feet are all over the place, and what we're trying to do is bring them back into balance. We're trying to bring them back to that central point of balance. And some horses' feet will never, ever, ever totally get there without continual help from us, without continual intervention from us. But what intervention are we talking about? Let's be real. We're not talking about resections, tenotomy, casts, wedges, heart bars, clogs, I think I've said most of them. A few others. What we're doing, no drugs. What we're doing is we're bringing that horse back to comfort. And the reality is that sometimes comfort, many times comfort comes before aesthetics. Well, every time. But that's not how the equine world, it's not how the world has seen. I mean, look how many people wander around in incredibly painful high heel shoes, because it gives that, that particular look that you're looking for in a high heel shoes. And unfortunately, the world is getting, we're pushing people down a road of looking at aesthetics rather than what looks good, rather than what actually feels good. And that, you know, we'll put up with stuff not feeling good as long as people think it looks good. Bonnie says, every time I see your name, I think about lunch. That's Pia. Pia, Bonnie, every time I see your name, I think about lunch. Ha, ha, ha. I can't lie. No. I don't suppose you can. Dawn says, Shannon is just lovely and I feel very blessed to have her, especially as my hands give me jip now. Yeah, she's a dear. That we've got some absolutely wonderful pros working their socks off out there. Some of them still with other jobs, in fact, that are out there doing it, squeezing in as many clients as they can at the weekends and evenings. And then some of them out there doing it full time, some of them out there doing it full time and online. So talking to online clients as well. Some of them doing more online than in person. It's wonderful. Sorry. Oh, I need to go to bed. It truly is. It makes us glow, doesn't it, Gary? It really does.
It does. It does. Yeah,
and I think also
it's just wonderful.
And I think also what sets us apart from all the constant evidence that we are bringing to the party that nobody can refute. They try verbally, but they can't in terms of showing any evidence to the contrary. I think that as well as that, we have this, which I think people tend to forget about, because people tend to think it's me a lot of the time, and then it's me and Gary, or it's Bethan. They forget that we have this amazing school as well. Look, it looks like I've got a mini top hat on.
Oh, it's your light.
There's a plant there. Yeah, they forget that in the background, just trickling away all the time, are these HM bros where we are churning out at a rate. You know, we take on anything up to 30 students a year, and that's quite a lot to deal with.
In the next month, we have the Cobs doing their finals.
We do.
We love finals.
We do love our finals because it's lovely. We just sit there and be talked to. Yes. Instead of us doing the talking, we are talked to.
And it's where we get lots of ideas. Oh my God, they worded that so well. And I can nick that. That's a buzz line that I can nick.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful.
It's lovely.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely lovely.
So that's the finals for the Cobs. They've gone through 2 years, and they've just gone through 2 modules of back-to-back of us teaching in person. Well, in person, online, live. And now, oh yes, that's a point, actually. I've just remembered. I must make sure that that's live to them, Gary. I think I've just forgotten. And now they are getting their finals. So they've got 4 weeks, bless them, to get into it. They've got 4 weeks to get themselves done. And then there'll be a few weeks after that, and then they'll get their certificates, which is brilliant. And then they'll be qualified pros. Amazing. I'm just making myself a note.
I've also just messaged you.
Good Lord. So many things going on. Stella says, oops, morning all.
Hi, Stella.
Morning. What is it? 3 o'clock in the morning for you? Yeah, so I think the world is completely, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to make of any of it, because it's not meant to be true. People are not meant to rock up and rehab these horses that they have been mucking around with clogs and casts and tenotomies and resections and wedges for so long. It's not meant to happen where somebody else rocks up and does it barefoot without any that hasn't cost a fortune. That doesn't compute. And so, like I said, they'll carry on regardless to a point. And they are carrying on regardless, but too many people are noticing now and seeing stuff and then jumping on it going, oh, don't do it like that. Because you lot, now you're getting educated from the knee down and the hock down. You've got something to say. And you're out there saying it. So they're having to turn off comments and and block you. It's quite amusing. Becky says you have an amazing network of people that you've trained and continue to support so that we can help owners and help their horses. Absolutely. I'm so looking forward to our CPD day. It's going to be a laugh and hard work. Stella says 5 a.m. Oh, it's 5. At 5 o'clock this morning, I do not wish to be awake on YouTube.
I've got a day that I've got a day this week where I've got to be up at 5:30.
Why, Gary?
Thursday, because it's one of my early days, so I can help people on the other side of the world. It's one of my early days, so I've got a call at 6 o'clock in the morning.
New Zealand?
No, this is actually in the States, actually. This is a lady in the States, yeah. So God knows what time it is for her. It's probably in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it is. That's a funny time. Anyway. Yes. So we keep on, warriors, keep on going and hunting out those posts, keep on putting the right words in there, and keep replying,
asking the right questions as well,
and a proper question, not a gotcha question.
Yeah, asking a nice question. Yeah, it's brilliant. We don't have to, because we for those of you that are with us, you've been educated, you've seen the light, so to speak, and then you go off and share that knowledge in a nice way, which is great. And it questions the old rhetoric, which is fabulous.
And it is frustrating when people ignore you, I know, or it is frustrating when people argue with you. But for a moment, and I don't want to give them, any justification for this, but for a moment, maybe just think back to how you felt before you knew about the Phoenix Way, before you really knew anything about Hoofing Marvellous, before you really ever followed Galsworth Track Livery, before you really, really knew anything about the foot. Think back to how you felt back then. And that's how they feel. Yep. They are constantly confused that these people are coming out and doing openly so everybody can see these rehabs, and they cannot achieve that as well. In fact, I noted on a post that was put up quite a while ago of it might not have been, with P3 rotated, no toe, osteonecrosis, and the response from a farrier was, and these are really tricky to do, because when you take the heels down, you're going to end up going into P3. That shouldn't happen, because you're not taking and I replied by saying, you're not taking the heels down at the right angle then, if you're trimming into P3. I tell you, it's going to take a lot of years before we have finally got the majority of the world understanding what we're saying. So In the meantime, what do you need to do? You need to get yourself booked on a workshop or at least an online challenge. You do, because places are zipping away, and we've got 13 odd workshops this year. There's no excuse not to get yourself somewhere. And flights nowadays, you can pretty much get all over the place. And we're coming down under, we're Australia, New Zealand. We start that in 3 weeks time. We're starting in New Zealand, in Auckland. Then we go to Christchurch. Then we go to Adelaide. Then we go to Brisbane. Then we're home. Then we go to Gawsworth. Then we're home from Gawsworth. Then we go to the States, and we're going to, or States, North America. Then we're going to Linwood near Toronto. Then Stoneborough near Pennsylvania. And then we've got 2 weeks of not knowing what we're doing, because we're not sure whether we've got other workshops on or not. Potentially going to Reykjavik in Iceland, because that's being set up right now. Then we've got August off. Yay! And then we start again right at the beginning of September, and we go to UK Droitwich, which is in the Midlands in the UK. And then a couple of weeks later, we're in Sweden. No, I've missed Sweden. I've missed Sweden and Longmarsh. We come back from America. Sorry, we come back from America, and then we've got Longmarsh in July, and then Sweden in July, and then we've got August off. And then we've got Droitwich beginning of September. Then we've got Germany, not Sweden, Germany towards the end of September. And then in November, we've got Florida. I mean, come on, guys. You can get it. You can come and see us. You've just got to get somebody to come and look after your animals for 3 days. And I know that's not easy, but start planning now. You've got to come and see us. You've got to come and see us. Jeanette says, we in our ignorance had open minds, listened, understood, and accepted we had been wrong. Yeah, you did. I don't know whether all of you were openly accepting. I don't know whether that started right at the beginning, or whether just over time you watched the content, listened to what I was saying, and then saw it for yourself. Because I can talk till I'm blue in. This is what's so funny when people try and tear us down, or me in particular, for not having any evidence, etc., and just talking codswallop. I've always said, don't believe me, believe your horse. And there are far too many horses now recovering, doing well, being sound. It's very difficult to attack an organization when success after success after success. It's cool. Lisa's here. Hello, Lisa. I cannot wait for a workshop. I'll gather cadavers for a workshop if I have to. Go for it, girl. You must. It's important. If you can get cadavers and a little venue, you can come free. She's in San Diego. Perfect. We would love that. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. Work with Ali, because she wants to try and get them over there as well. I had such high hopes of collecting Dava hooves. Livestock removal lady told me she collects on average 5 horses a day. Yeah, we can't have any legs. Oh, just keep pushing. You'll find somewhere soon. Becky says these workshops are a bucket list thing, especially, obviously, if you have horses. Lisa says, Ali Jean, where do you live? Right, you two get together, help each other, and we might be coming to a town near you in California. Fantastic. Right, I think it's time to go. I've been yawning my head off. You've done a little bit of that, and I'm gonna go and take my makeup off and go to bed.
Sounds like a plan.
It sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, my lovelies. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, as always, and we'll see you
probably
soon.
Thursday.
Possibly Thursday this week. 2 lives. All right, then, and maybe me if I jump in here and there. All right, then, all the best. Take care. Yes, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the notification bell, and so you're notified when we come live.
And the like button.
Thank you. Sleep well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All the best. Bye. Take care. All the best.